In part 1, we broke down the 911 calls, the chaos inside the house, and what officers found when they arrived. One man had been shot multiple times, and the shooter was still inside. But what part 1 didn't answer is what exactly led up to that moment. In this video, we're only focusing on witness statements. These are only transcripts. And the reason why is because when I requested the video and the audio, I received confirmation back from our appointed contact that since this case did not go to trial, there was no audio and video ever downloaded into evidence. So for accuracy, I'll be narrating these statements directly from the case file. This next statement is one of the most important in the entire case because this witness is connected to both sides. She is the girlfriend of the victim and the sister of the man who pulled the trigger. She was there from the beginning to the moments the shots were fired. Now I'm going to play a little devil's advocate here by stopping before reading her interview with police so that we can insert portions of her 911 call and measure those events up against what she later told detectives in the interview room. Not to challenge her personally, but to analyze the evidence. I told you in part 1 that Arkansas Darkside True Crime TV was on one mission, and that was to bring his family the truth. Now let's get into witness 1. She tells detectives that when she got back to the house, it was completely dark. No porch light, nothing. She tells them that she was even scared to walk up. Now, I noticed something while reviewing transcripts and comparing them to the 911 call, that there was no mention of being scared to go inside. She says when they went inside, they didn't think anybody was there. Now pay close attention to this clip that I'm about to play, because either the transcript is wrong or the audio is just unclear.
What's happening?
Okay. Can you please ambulance?
What's going on there?
The gunshot was fired. Somebody has been shot, please. Hurry up and somebody.
Now I thought I heard her say gunshots were fired, but the transcript says otherwise. And since we're keeping everything factual and unbiased, I wanted to point out that possible discrepancy. If the transcript is correct, she immediately says they had just been fighting. So which one is it? Was the house empty or was it already a situation going on inside? She tells detectives she walked past the room and that's when she saw him sitting there. She says things escalated quickly and that's when everything started happening.
Okay, what do you need an ambulance for?
Somebody got shot.
On the 911 call, she skips straight to the result. During the interview, she tells detectives that shots were fired and her brother was the one who shot him.
My brother retaliated and shot him.
Now let's back up and lean more into her statement. Remember when she said she walked in the house and it was total darkness and she saw Keyshawn sitting there. She says he suddenly gets up, bumps into her, and that's the moment she realizes he was there. She tells detectives things started to escalate quickly. And in part 1, I mentioned pepper spray. And the reason why I brought that up is because she tells detectives at some point he gets pepper sprayed. And she described his reaction as in pain and yelling. Now, this is important because if you've ever been pepper sprayed or even close enough to feel it, most people can't see and barely can breathe. The lifestyle I used to live, I've experienced it multiple times. So think about that. According to witness 1, the girlfriend, she says that even after that, the situation still didn't stop.
Please, the person, it was a misunderstanding. The person that shot him is still in the house. It was a misunderstanding, please. Please, somebody. Oh my God.
Okay, ma'am, tell me exactly what happened.
Okay, so the person that got shot had shot a gun in the house full of kids.
Now I'm going to pause right there so we can continue to match up the timeline. She says in her statement to detectives that he had a gun. And according to her, that's when the situation becomes life or death. She says Cedric tries calming him down, but that didn't work. Even mentioning the kids in the house, that didn't work either. She says Cedric pulls out a gun, and Keyshawn pointed the gun directly in Cedric's face. And that's when Cedric started shooting. She says multiple shots were fired, Keyshawn drops, and she describes him collapsing, struggling, and trying to talk. She says he knew He knew he wasn't gonna make it. She says after the shooting, Cedric dropped the gun, runs over to him, and tries to help.
They're on their way. I need you to listen, okay? Does anybody there have a dry closet tab?
Don't let him close his eyes.
She describes holding him, trying to comfort him, and at this point, this isn't about conflict anymore. This is about a loss. She also tells detectives that both guns were moved. For me, here's one place things get tricky. They were both placed in a room. This is a human life. This is conflict between a toxic relationship, family interference, and a rearranged crime scene. This makes it hard to handle the right way. So based on her statement, this is what she says happened. They return home. The house was dark. She sees him inside. A gun is introduced. Cedric steps in. Shots are fired. And that's her version. As we do after every episode, we include the transcripts at the end of the video so you can review them yourself. Before we get into Cedric's statement, I wanted to point something out real quick. I didn't go in order with these witness statements because I wanted to break this down in a way that actually makes sense as you're watching it. So instead of going in order, we're going to go by what helps you understand what happened in that house. This next statement is the one everyone has been waiting on. But one last thing I need to mention. Even though Keyshawn was shot multiple times, including the back, Cedric has not been charged with the crime. According to what we've been told, detectives also informed Keyshawn's mother that they will not be filing charges. Now let's get into what Cedric had to say. Cedric tells detectives that he was present when everything started escalating. According to him, this wasn't just a random situation. By the time things turned physical, it was already new energy in the room. He even mentions that his sister is usually the one who ends up putting hands on Keyshawn. So from that perspective, this wasn't just out of character. This was something that happened before, and he describes the interaction with Keyshawn and the others as heated. Voices raised, emotions high, and things started to shift. Cedric also says that at some point, Keyshawn was sprayed with pepper spray. And that moment matters. According to Cedric, hold up. Before we get back into Cedric's statement, I gotta shout out one of the best lash techs in Little Rock, Arkansas. She's fast, reliable, and y'all, her pricing is on point. Sometimes she be doing my lash extensions, and they so lightweight, I be forgetting I got them on. And I didn't even mention that she do full body massages. I haven't got one of those yet, but I'm going with my bikini on. Okay, so her contact information is on the screen, and if you're in the Little Rock area and you need those services, hit my girl up. I'll also attach her link in the description. Now let's get back into what Cedric had to say. Shots was fired during this encounter, and based on the case file, Keyshawn was shot multiple times in the back. Not in the face, not squared up, in the back. Now here's what stands out to me. Cedric tells detectives that at some point, Keyshawn was making threats. He says Keyshawn threatened to kill everyone in the house, not just one person, but everyone. That's when the situation escalated for him. He started asking Keyshawn, "Are you shooting at me?" In his statement, he's making it clear. He says he believed that he was in danger. At that moment, he positioned himself for a justified homicide case, just in case he was ever charged and it went to trial. He describes himself as scared during the moment, and everything was surrounding him was continuing to escalate. And from Cedric's account, this was no longer an argument. He believed the situation had turned into something deadly. Cedric's statement gives us a version of what happened inside that house that night. He says things escalated, what he says he saw, what he says he did, and the moments that he felt he was in danger. But like we've said before, this is just one account. And when you're dealing with multiple people in one location, every statement matters. Because what one person says doesn't always line up with the next. So now the focus shifts to the other witnesses. What they saw, what they heard, and how their stories compared to Cedric. But before we move on, we've added full statements of the other two witnesses at the end of this video. If you want to, you can stop, pause, and read through them yourself. Now, as far as this case goes, based on the statements that we have just went over, we have the 911 call. We know the witness 1 and her boyfriend had already been beefing. And so again, this wasn't just something that just happened out of nowhere. This had already been building long before that night. We still have additional requests to add on this case. And as we receive more information, we'll be adding future updates. But make sure you subscribe to Street Mothers Podcast because Keyshawn's mother will be coming back after she has had a chance to review this case breakdown on Arkansas Dark Side True Crime TV. And we're also rolling out a new segment where we go live and allow the viewers to come up and we really break down these cases with your thoughts, opinions, and key points in each episode. And don't forget to sign up for our membership. We completely revamped it. New perks, early access, behind the scenes content, and clips that didn't make the final video. Thank you for watching Arkansas Dark Side True Crime TV. Again, don't forget to subscribe to Street Mothers Podcast, where you can watch raw interviews and real stories. Like, comment, share, and subscribe.